Round Up family. Hey, Round Up family. Greetings. Round Up family. Good evening. Give everybody a minute to come on. Hey, Round Up family. Greetings, Round Up family. Thank you for joining us this wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us. I am Chris Haskins, real estate investor. My mission and my ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. In doing that, I get the opportunity to hang out with some world-class winners and introduce you to the same. Tonight, I've just got an unbelievable honor to hang out with Jay Connor. Jay, how you doing this evening, my friend?
Hello, Chris Haskins. I'm doing fantastic, man, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me here on your show. Live, man, live.
This is cool, right? Jay has been doing this business since 2003. Together, we got almost, 30 plus years doing this crazy business.
Yep.
And Jay has raised personally over $2 million in private money. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all private money. And before I let Jay go, I know he's got a million things. Round Up family, you know I give maximum value. So I demand maximum value. And we're going to show you some stuff tonight. I promise you. You haven't seen anywhere else in the world. And Jay is going to hopefully give us some unbelievable goodies tonight to share with you to catapult your business as private money did for me. Jay Connor, welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm excited to be here. And man, I know we've only got about an hour together. So, you know, we'll give out as much information and valuable, actionable items to your followers and audience as we can.
Thank you. Jay, for the two people that may not understand or are aware of private money, give us a very quick 40,000 foot view of how private money works. What is it? How does it work?
Sure. So when we talk private money, so for those of your audience that has borrowed, say, hard money, we're not talking hard money. You know, and if time permits, Chris, you know, we can talk about the differences and, you know, between hard money and private money. But a hard money lender is a broker. So this world of private money, we're not relying on banks. We're not relying on mortgage companies. We're not relying on institutions. Private money is when you are doing business as a real estate investor. We're borrowing money from human beings, from individuals that loan money to us as the real estate investor. They loan money to us either from their investment capital or their retirement accounts.
Gotcha. So Jay, give me the backstory, and I know what it was for me. Give me the backstory. How on earth? Because, you know, conventional wisdom, we are all, I feel like we're just like sheep. We're just taught, get a realtor, go to the bank, apply for a loan, turn in tax return, credit report, so on and so forth. Where was the change for you?
Yeah. So, you know, my wife, Carol Joy, and I, we've been investing here in Eastern North Carolina, a little town called Morehead City. We invest in Morehead City, Newport, Havelock, Beaufort. Our total target market is only 40,000 people. And we do two to three transactions a month. Our average profits are $67,000 per deal that we do. So we started investing in 2003, October 2003. And our first year, we just did 3 deals. But the first 6 years, Chris, that we were doing the business, I was relying on the local banks, traditional ways of getting money.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell you, Chris, I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. In fact, I was right here in this office, in this chair, and I called up my banker, and my banker's name was Steve, the operative word being was Steve, right? I called up my banker, and I'd had this conversation with Steve many, many times. And this conversation went like this. I told him I had 2 deals under contract. These two deals represented over $100,000 in profit. And I told him the amount of money needed for funding, when I wanted to close. And then Steve did something that is never a good sign when your significant other or your banker does. Steve went quiet on me, on the other end. Not good. Steve finally cleared his throat. He says, Jay, I'm sorry, but the bank has collapsed your line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard credit being collapsed, but I knew it didn't sound good. I said, what do you mean? Well, come to find out, not only me, but every other real estate investor, like in the United States, have been turned off.
Gotcha.
And so that, with no way to fund my deals. And I'm telling you, my definition of coincidence, God's way of staying anonymous. And in less than 2 weeks, I was introduced to this wonderful world of private money. And I haven't done a deal since. And here's the deal.
Turn down, y'all.
I hung up the phone from Steve. And I sat here for a minute and I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And, you know, I had a choice. I could quit, right? But quitting was not an option for me. So I learned through this experience, and it was just a huge blessing in disguise. I learned through this experience that it is impossible for me to fail or any of your followers and audience to fail until you decide to quit. You can't fail. You can't fail until you decide to quit. I mean, I'm telling you, we were created to be victorious. We were created to be heroes. And our mission is to be winners and not failures. And so quitting wasn't an option. I called up my friend Jeff, who lived in Greensboro, North Carolina at the time. And I said, Jeff, I just got cut off from the local bank for funding my deals. He's a real estate investor. I said, what am I going to do? He says, welcome to the club. They just cut me off last week too.
Oh, wow.
He told me about private money. And I'm telling you, Chris, I put my program together. And in less than 90 days from being cut off, I was able to attract and raise $2,150,000 in private money. And so it was a blessing in disguise. I only had $1 million line of credit at the local bank. And you know what? When we're going through painful experiences in life, you know, how often can we look back after we've gone through it? And it was a blessing in disguise. You know, Chris, if I hadn't been cut off from the bank, I wouldn't be here with you tonight. Quickly, I became known as the private money authority on raising a lot of money, showing other real estate investors how to get the money without relying on your banks, relying on your credit, relying on your verification of income. And so it was just a huge blessing in disguise. As a matter of fact, mine and Carol Joy's business tripled in the first 12 months of being cut off from the bank because we found a better way in this world of private money.
Unbelievable. Jay, I'm thinking about my experiences too. I mean, private. Anyway, Jay, you said a key word. And Roundup family, thanks you for joining us. If you're just joining us right now, we are here training on private money. Jay is going to be dropping some nuggets in a minute. I've got so much notes here. Put your questions in the chat box, Roundup family. What is wrong with this thing? Put your questions in the chat box so Jay can get them answered. All your questions about private money tonight. All right. Jay, I heard you mention the word attract private money. Help me understand. Break that down, because most people think that they're going to go out and look for it. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So here's what I mean by attracting private money. We don't chase. We don't beg. We don't sell. We don't try to talk anybody into anything. We attract the private money. And here's how we do it. Here's the deal, Chris. Since I started using private money to fund my deals, I have yet to ask anybody for money to fund my deals. I don't ask anybody for money. All I do is make my program available. I put the word out. And, you know, if time permits here on the show, we'll show the 5 easy steps on putting the word out. There's 2 primary categories that we get private money from. what we call the warm market. That's people that we have some kind of a relationship with or some kind of influence. And then the other category that we get private money from are existing private lenders, people that are already individuals that are already loaning money out.
Wow.
And so there's 5 easy steps there. So
Okay.
what we do is we make our program and our information available and known to these different markets. And anybody that's got investment capital or retirement funds, I'm telling you, they're going to raise their hand and be interested, because with our program of offering offering high returns safely and securely, people can't get these kind of returns anywhere else. I mean, every Thursday, Chris, the USA Today in the money section, on the front page of the money section in the lower left-hand corner, publishes what the average certificate of deposit yields are in the United States. And just last week, the national average for a 12-month certificate of deposit is only 0.91%. 0.91% is the average certificate of deposit yield. And my lands, we come along and offer private lenders 7%, 8% interest. It's like and it's secure and it's safe. It's like they can't get this kind of return anywhere else. And we, as the real estate investor, are happy to take that because of the huge profits that we're able to make.
Now, I know a lot of us are trained, a lot of the gurus around the country. I know you've interacted with a lot of them to possibly look for pretty houses and look for creative financing with our sellers so we can get in there and close that deal, Jay. Tell me how these two work together, because I don't need necessarily a lot of money if I'm doing pretty houses.
Man, I am so glad you brought this up. I mean, this is a hot topic for me. So here's what I've discovered after reviewing and looking at thousands of property lead sheets from motivated sellers of off-market properties. So there is some training out there that says you need to negotiate on terms. And I agree. So let me give a little bit of training here, Chris, on negotiating on terms. So when a seller owns a property free and clear, no mortgage, that immediately triggers me and my acquisitionist to negotiate on terms of getting that seller to sell to me with seller financing.
Seller financing.
Yep. If they have, they'll take their payments in equity. I mean, take their equity in payments from us. If that seller has got a mortgage and we're negotiating with that seller and it's an off-market property, that's immediately going to trigger us to negotiate and talk about buying the house subject to the existing note. Now, by the way, I want to stop right here, Chris. I just said house. This world of private money, it works for single-family houses. It works for multifamily. It works for small apartments. It works for commercial. So it's all the same money. But back to what I'm saying on buying on terms. If they got a mortgage, that triggers us to negotiate buying subject to the existing note. But here's the deal. Here's what I've discovered. And if they won't sell to us on subject to or owner financing, we can negotiate on buying lease option. I don't buy anything or control anything on lease option. If I can't own the house, I don't want it. So here's the deal. So I have discovered that all these off-market houses for sale by owners, what I've discovered is only 13% of for sale by owners will sell to me creatively. 13% will sell subject to the existing note, seller financing, lease option. Guess what? The other 87% of the sellers require all the cash, right?
Gotcha.
So there's some training out there that says if they won't sell to you on terms, no deal. If they won't sell to you on terms, no deal. Well, people, you got a decision to make. If you want to give up 87% of the business, you can give up 87% of the business. Here's my business model. If they won't sell to me on terms, you know what I say? No terms, private money.
Nice.
No terms, private money. So we're going to use the private money whenever the seller of the property, doesn't matter if it's single family or commercial, requires all the money at closing.
I see what you're saying. So Jay, are these people ready? Because you know how we don't know if I'm thinking about my coaching clients. They're going to make offers. They don't know if they're going to get approved for the loan. Is there like an approval process that has to go through with these lenders before they're going to agree to fund the deal like a conventional lender would be?
So glad you asked that question. So there ain't no approval process. And so here's the deal. What you just said, I'm so glad you did because it triggered me to teach this. I am visiting with a new potential private lender, and I got 48 of them now. Now, you don't need to start out with 48. I started out with one.
How many do people need, Jay? What is that? I mean, I know I only have 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you start out with one. That's all you need. My first private lender, pledged me $250,000,
Gotcha.
So when I'm visiting with a new potential private lender, particularly my warm market,
Sure. Just go.
what I do is I only talk about my program. This is very important. You see, I learned the hard way. Don't bring your program and a deal to a private lender all in the same conversation. If you bring your program and a deal, number one, you're asking your new private lender to make too many decisions. Do they like the program and do they like the deal? And it also compromises your position. Okay? So
Jay, can we stay here for a minute? I hate to cut you off.
Sure.
This is wow. Help me understand this, Jay. Why do I not want to talk about the program and the deal? Help me. Because I'm thinking most of us coming in like, I got this smoking deal. Here's how I do it. Here's how it's all set up.
No.
Stay there in that framework for a minute.
Exactly. So Chris, let's say you're a friend of mine, which you are, and let's say you don't know nothing about private money. And let's say you got investment capital or you got retirement funds, and we're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get higher rates of return on your investment safely and securely. So I start talking about my private lending program. I'll pay you 8%. I got a way you can get your money back in less than 90 days. If you got an emergency, you got to get it back. We're going to talk about whether I'm going to pay you monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or not pay you any payments until I cash out on the deal. We're talking about the program. Now, all I'm asking you to do is let me know, do you like the program? I ain't asking you for no money. I'm not asking you for no money. I'm asking you to understand my program that I'm offering to my private lenders. And you tell me if you like the program. Now, I will tell you from experience of doing this since 2009. From experience, if you've got investment capital or retirement funds, you're going to like my program because you're going to like it because you're not going to get these kind of returns anywhere else. And it's collateralized by real estate. So you just tell me if you like the program. So you say, hey, I like the program. Go find us a deal. Now, if I in that same conversation are bringing you a deal and I'm going, hey, $200,000 after repaired value, I'm buying it for $100,000, rehab's $30,000. And, I need you to fund this amount of money for me to do this deal. My lands. It's like I'm begging, right? So follow me on this. So I go over to program only in the initial conversations, program only. Now, when you, as my new private lender says, I like the program. I say, super, Chris, I'll go find us a deal. Now, I might find us a deal in a day, 2 days, might be a week, might be 2 weeks. I need to find us a deal pretty quick because you're going to get antsy and, you want to do business. Now, watch this. I got a deal. I'm going to call you up. I'm not going to ask you, I'm not going to tell you about this deal and ask you if you want to do the deal. That's stupid. Of course you want to do the deal. You already told me you like the program. So I call you up and you know what I say? I said,
What's
Chris,
that?
I got great news. I got us a deal. And here's what I tell you. I tell you, I got this house over. I got this house over in Newport, and we're going to be closing in 2 weeks. The after repair value is $200,000, and I need X number of dollars for you to have wired by the X closing date, and we're going to be doing our first deal. I ain't asking you if you want to do the deal. I know you want to do the deal because I'm not bringing you any deal that doesn't fit the criteria of the program that you already told me you wanted to do.
So I feel like you're almost setting them up. No doubt they're thinking about this, Jay, after you presented it, but you're like, okay, here's the program. We'll get back to you about the opportunity to take action.
Exactly.
Like, wow.
It's called, so it's 2 steps. Step number one, the program. We're in on the program. All right. Step number 2, good news. I got a deal. Here's the amount of money. Now I'll tell you, when I'm doing the first deal with a private lender, I tell them 4 things. I call them up. I got great news. And we got a deal. We got our first deal we can do that fits the program. The 4 things I tell them. Number 1, I got this house or property, and I tell them the community it's in. They could care less what the address is, right? So I tell them where the house is located, the community, or the township. Second thing I tell them is the after repaired value. So if there's going to be some rehab or whatever, the after repaired value.
Okay.
Third thing I tell them is the amount of money for them to wire to my real estate attorney. And I know they got that much money because they already told me when we got together on the program as to how much money they got to work with, either with investment capital or from their retirement account.
Gotcha.
And then the 4th thing I tell them is the date that they need to wire the money. Okay. Now, that's the 4 things I tell them on the first deal. Now, here's what's really beautiful. On subsequent deals, deal number 2 through infinity, they don't want to know them 4 things on the second deal and going forward. All they want to know is how much money do you need and when do you need it? Because you've got the relationship and the trust, established on doing that first deal.
Jay, let me ask you. I know you have done so much for me. Let me ask you, can we do a role play here? I would love to hear my phone ringing with Jay Connor on the other end telling me it's time for action. Is that too much to ask?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I want to put you on the spot, dog. All right. Ring, ring, ring. I'm the lender. Jay, I love your program. I met you. I love that country grammar that you speak, and you already broke it down for me. Jay, what's going on?
Hey, Chris. How's your day, man?
Man, I'm blessed, my brother. What you got?
So look, I got great news for you. And here's the good news. Here's the good news. I have got our first deal to do together.
Okay. All right. You're talking about that program that you said that I could get 6 to 7% or maybe 8% just using my retirement money. Is that what we're talking about?
You got it. You got it. So anyway, first I want to congratulate you, Chris, because you got your retirement money as I recommended. You got your retirement money moved over to the self-directed IRA company that I recommended. So you got your account funded. So now we got our first deal. So this first deal is over in Newport, right next here to Morehead City.
I'm familiar with that.
Yep. And the after repaired value is $200,000. And guess what? I'm buying this house for $100,000. We got $30,000 in rehab. So all I need for you to do is wire the $130,000 to my real estate attorney that I already gave you the wiring instructions. And I need you to do that through your self-directed IRA company by next Tuesday. And we'll be inking our first deal together. Congratulations.
Nice. Wow. So you're telling me my retirement, my self-directed Roth IRA will just wire it over. They don't need to mail a check or anything.
That's right. That's right. So, you'll be filling out a direction of investment with your self-directed IRA company.
Okay.
And in fact, since you've never done this before, we're actually going to fill that out for you. Nice. And send it over to you by DocuSign. And all you need to do is just do click, 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 send it back, and your funds will be wired for you from the self-directed IRA company. And we'll be closing our first deal.
Wow. Okay. What else do I need to do? I mean, I feel
you ain't got to do nothing, Chris, because you just need to watch your email. We're going to send you by DocuSign the direction of investment for you to okay. And your self-directed IRA company will wire the funds out for you, and we'll be closing our first deal together.
Let's give it a shot. Hey, Jay, could you send me a picture? Could I see a picture of the property?
Sure. Absolutely. We'll send you a picture.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I appreciate it, Jay.
All right. What's your email?
As chrisbuyshouses@gmail. chrisbuyshouses@gmail.com.
It's coming to you.
Wow, that's simple. Wow, that is a lot different from the bank conversations that I can remember, Jay.
Oh my land.
A lot different.
And here's another thing. I get so many offers. I get so many offers accepted from FSBOs, off-market deals, and I beat out my competition because here's why, Chris. In my offers, I tell them I can close in 7 days. I'll even let them stay in the property, stay in the house rent free for 30 days because I want to lock that deal down. I want to lock her down, right? Because time kills deals. Time kills deals. And so, and here's the deal: I can't close in 7 days unless I got some relationships in place. And there are 4 relationships I got to have in place to close in 7 days. The first relationship, and look, I have competition. I ain't got no competition, but I have other real estate investors that will offer more money than me to buy a house. But since they're using hard money, they can't close as fast as me, or they're using, the local bank. They can't close as fast as me. Since I'm offering to close in 7 days, I can offer less money. Let them stay in the house for free for 30 days, and I get the deal. But the relationships I got to have in place. Number 1, got to have the private money relationship sitting on the shelf ready to go. Number 2, I got to have my real estate attorney at my beck and call that puts me ahead of the list of everybody else and gets that title search done to make sure I got clear title. So I got my private money. I got my real estate attorney. My third relationship is I got to have my home inspector. Make sure that house ain't getting ready to fall down underneath the piers because the termites ate it up. Ask me how I know that, right? All right. And then my fourth relationship I got to have in place is, in my world, if it's over $300,000 or more, I want to get an appraisal. Now, I use CMAs for my realtor, so I definitely got to have my realtor relationship in place to give me my realtor either CMA or I'm going to get an appraisal. So got to have the money, got to have the attorney, got to have the inspector, and I got to have the proof of value. All that happens fast in less than a week, and then I can close. Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. From your audience, do you think you've got like a good percentage of your audience that's actually either borrowed hard money or considered hard money?
Yeah, I would have to say 50%, Jay. The ones that I've interacted with.
If you got 50% of your audience has borrowed hard money or considered hard money, if we got just a couple of minutes, I'd love to do a quick contrast comparison between hard money.
Yeah, I don't want to lose you. Let's do it. I don't want to lose you because I got to get to these. You mentioned before about 5 points, these 5 ways of finding these people. Let's do it, Jay. Hard ones. So we got private.
Okay, so do 2 columns. Do hard money. Yeah. Do 2 columns. Private money, hard money.
Well, let me do this because we got all this crap over here. So we got
hard money, private money.
Gotcha.
So let's be clear. A hard money lender is a broker most of the time. Hard money lender is a broker, like a middle person that's actually going out and raising private money and jacking up the rate and then passing that on to us as the real estate investor and borrower.
So we're cutting out. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
So private money or individuals. So let's start with categories on the far left-hand side. Okay. So the first category is interest rate, all the way there to the far left-hand side. So like percentage rate, right? So hard money, the national average right now for hard money is 14%. 14%. I'm telling you, Chris, for your audience and followers, we're getting ready to set them free right now. We're going to set them free.
Yes.
So hard money, 14%. Private money, national average right now is 8%. 8% for private money. Next category is points or origination fees. Okay. So, just to be clear, a point is nothing more than more interest rate money, but they call it something different, and you got to bring it to the closing table when you buy. It's just more for the bank to make money.
Okay.
So hard money, national average is 4 points. 4
points. 4. Okay.
4, which means if you're borrowing $100,000,
$100K,
you got to bring $4,000 to the closing table out of your own pocket, right?
Okay.
There you go. Now, private money, points and origination fees, zero. No points, no origination fee.
Why is that, Jay? Why is it? It's almost unbelievable. You know how it is. People, for me, it was like I didn't even comprehend that there would be no points. I thought there's always points when you borrow money.
Because it never comes up in conversation. So why should I bring it up?
Gotcha.
Right? And plus, you're educating these people on what the world of private money is. I mean, out of my 48 private lenders, ain't none of them ever heard of private money or self-directed IRAs. So we frame ourselves as an educator. The next category, interest rate points, extension fees. So, in the world of hard money, the terms are either 6 months or a year, right? So hard money, if you haven't cashed out in the length of time of that term, then they'll extend your term, but on average 2 more points. 2 more points. So if you borrowed $100,000, they want, $2 more thousand to extend your term. In the world of private money, zero extension fees. We're still at 8%. Now, the next category is huge. I mean, it's huge. So next category is what percentage of the purchase price will they advance? In other words, percentage of purchase price advance. Percentage of purchase price advance. So let me give an example. Let's say we're doing this $200,000 after repaired value. Let's say we're going to buy for $100,000. Okay, and so we're buying it for $100,000. It's got 30 grand in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an awesome deal. We're buying at 50% of the after repaired value.
Yep.
The question is, how much of that $100,000 will the hard money lender give you, advance to you when you buy? National average is 80%.
Yeah.
Some won't even give you but 65% of the purchase. So they're going to give you $80,000 as an example. Who's got to come up with the rest of the money? We do, right? Well, guess what? So in the world of hard money, 80% of purchase price.
Gotcha.
In the world of private money, 100% of purchase price, 100% of purchase price, and 100% of the rehab money. Now, in addition to that, just one more category, Chris, and we'll finish our contrast here. Yep. My favorite reason for using private money is I'm going to get a big check when I buy. So in the world of hard money, zero check. I don't get no money when I buy. Zero check when I buy. In the world of private money, I always bring home a big check when I buy because I borrow more than I need to buy the house.
So I got zero paying at closing on hard money. What are we talking about here? 5,000, 10. What are we looking at, Jay, generally speaking on your deals?
Oh, on a closing, I'm paying my real estate attorney $650 for
I mean,
closing.
you
Yeah.
said you said pay.
So,
I'm
so
trying to understand
what
you
I'm
get.
saying on hard money. So this is a little different. I'm talking about the difference between hard money and private money. I have to bring a big check to the closing table
Oh,
when I buy
okay.
hard money.
I know what you're saying.
I got to bring 20% of the purchase price. I
Bring
got to
money.
bring points. I got to bring all that stuff. I
Gotcha.
got to bring big money to the closing table.
Bringing money.
I'm
Gotcha.
bringing money. In the world of private money, I'm getting money at the closing table. I'm not bringing any money to the closing table in this world of private money. I'm going to get a big check. Big check. In fact, in this world of private money, many times, Chris, I will get 3 checks on every transaction in this
Okay.
world of private money. I'll get a check when I buy. I mean, who wants to get paid to buy houses, right?
Paid to buy. A real investor does.
Paid
Yeah.
to buy. If I sell on lease option or rent to own, I'll get another check with a non-refundable lease option deposit or option fee. And then I'll get a third check when I cash out, the difference between what I sell it for and what I owe the private lender. So it just helps my cash flow abundantly.
Jay, last question. Go ahead. Go.
No, I'm good.
I'm just thinking over here. I feel real heavy. But this extension fee, 2 points. So I've got 4 to buy, an additional 2 if I go over my term.
Yeah, you're up to 20% your first year.
Wow, that's a
20%. I mean, you borrow $100,000 in hard money. In 12 months, on average, you're going to pay $20,000 in interest and fees. $20,000 to borrow $100,000 in hard money. In this world of private money, you're going to pay $8,000, not $20,000. $8,000 in this world of private money.
Jay, is the cost of the money something that investors should consider when they're getting into these flips?
Absolutely, my lands. I mean, the fees can eat your lunch, particularly the longer that you're in the deal and you're using hard money. But on private money, I sell houses on rent to own because I'm able to bring in more positive cash flow per month than what I'm paying out to my private lender on the underlying debt. So I can sell on rent to own using private money.
I'm just imagining your brain as you were transforming from a conventional borrower, if you will, to a private money borrower. And I guess you just saw all these different profit centers open up.
As I was doing it, it opened up.
You're putting all this together. And I'm like, you're making offers. To me, I'm thinking like the cost of the money is like just one of the factors in doing a flip. So that's something that you say, listen, I know the cost of the money. This is what it is.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Jay, I gotta keep you on track.
Okay, keep me on track, brother.
With this training, I want to make sure I give Roundup family, if you're just joining us, please put your questions in down there. Jay, hopefully we can stretch them on here to answer all the questions because I had a million questions when I first met him. Jay, please get your questions in. And Jay Connor, private money. Jay, I want to talk about this 5 ways of finding these people, brother. You got to give it to me, man. Please.
All right, man. I'm going to share my screen right now.
Yeah.
And pull it up. My entire screen, share. I'm going to go right down here. Pull it up here. There we go. Okay. So where are we going to get the money? How and where to get all the money that you want to have. So we got 2 main categories, Chris, on getting the private money. We got the warm market and we got existing private lenders. Gotcha. And each of them have got 5 steps on getting the money. Mm-hmm. So let's go over these 5 steps on the warm market. Can you see my screen, Chris?
I see you loud and clear, my friend. Round up. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you can see Jay's screen. Please give us a like so we can share this information to raise your financial literacy. Jay, let's hit it.
Yep. So when I say warm market, I'm talking about people that you have any kind of connection or relationship with. I mean, these people can be in your cell phone. They can be your email list. They can be your Facebook friends. And when I say Facebook friends, I don't mean your fake Facebook friends. I mean like real people, that you got some kind of relationship with, right? So here's the 5 steps of going to raising private money, attracting private money without chasing anybody, just putting the word out. So step number one is you got to identify your potential private lenders. Now, my students across the nation in my Where to Get the Money Now system, my students, I've got an exercise that they go through. In fact, at my live event coming up in just a couple of weeks, we actually do this exercise at the live event. So I teach my students and clients how to go through their warm list and identify what I call their top 40 potential private lenders. And we got different categories that we look at.
You got a checklist for that.
Yeah, it's a checklist. So first, we just identify who's your top potential private lenders. Now, second step is we're going to have just a casual conversation, all right, with these potential private lenders out of your warm market. This conversation can take place over the telephone. It can take place in person. And in my Where to Get the Money Now system, Chris, I've got multiple scripts that my students use and that I use. But I tell you what, Chris, let's you and me just do a little role play right here, okay?
Let's do it.
On what this conversation could sound like.
I'm gonna bring you in so I can see you.
So let's say I'm calling you up, all right? And so ring. Okay,
Hello?
you answer and say hello.
Yep. Hello.
Hey, Chris, this is Jay Connor. How's it going, man?
I'm blessed, Brother Jay. Thank you for calling. What you got?
Yep. Well, the reason I was calling you, Chris, is you may or you may not know that I'm investing in real estate these days, single family houses. And actually, I'm still taking advantage of the tidal wave of foreclosures that's going on. What I've got, Chris, is I have now opened up my real estate investing business to people that I know and trust. In fact, I'm paying really, really higher rates of return than people can get most anywhere else. So, Chris, I got a program that may or may not be for you. So unless you answer yes to the following question, there's really no need for me to give you any more information. And here's the question. Do you have investment capital or retirement funds not paying you a high rate of return safely and securely?
Not paying me. Well, yeah, the market's only giving me, whatever. I haven't even checked, but it's definitely not.
Yeah. So Chris, when you say you've got investment capital and you're looking for higher rates of return, that leads me into step number 3, which is sending you my 16-minute audio that gives an overview of private money. Okay. Now, if you had answered that question no, I'd know you're broke, because 0.91% is not a high rate of return. So step 1, you were on my list.
Gotcha.
Step 2, I called you up, all right, or we saw each other in person. We had a casual conversation that's called the qualifying conversation. Very casual, very short. Now, if you do have investment capital or retirement funds, then I do what's called let the tools do the work. Let the tools do the work, because we ain't chasing nobody. So step number 3 is I'm going to either email you or text you or hand you my stress-free investing audio. Now, I will tell you, I have recorded this audio and personalized it now for over 1,000 of my students across the nation since 2011. Over 1,000. And so we let the tool do the work. We just, as I say, we ain't chasing nobody. We just send this audio out. I mean, hey, in the email, your email list, your subject line is hey, H-E-Y, exclamation mark. And then it's a short little email, and then that audio is attached. We let the tool do the work. Now, I will tell you, this 16-minute audio has raised me millions, has been a part of raising me millions of dollars in private money, and my students as well. So you send it out. Step number 4, that leads to the one-on-one appointment, okay? And the one-on-one appointment is where we spill the beans. You see, this audio does not go into what the interest rate is. This audio does not go into, how you protect it in case I die, right? And go on to heaven and leave you on planet Earth. But it raises those questions, right? to where I'll answer those questions in the one-on-one appointment. So step number 4, when we get together, step number 4 is where I go over my simple little PowerPoint presentation that spills the beans. The program, the interest rate you're going to get as my new private lender, how you're protected, how you can get your money back, what's your minimum return. Takes about 20 minutes to just talk through the program. And I'm telling you, if you can read, my PowerPoint does the heavy lifting and does the work for you, right? So one-on-one appointment. So at the end of that appointment, then we simply ask for a verbal pledge. See, we ain't bringing no deal like we talked about a few minutes ago. We're just asking them, do you like the program? Do you want me to go find a deal, kind of thing. So that's the warm market in a nutshell. Now, let's move on to how do we find money from existing private lenders? Okay. It's similar, but it's different. So we don't have to give an audio to existing private lenders describing what private money is because they already know what private money is. So I'll tell you, Chris, and your audience, when I first started raising private money, I hired my real estate attorney's paralegal. And I was looking for individuals in our county, Carteret County, North Carolina. I was looking for individuals that had loaned money out to individuals collateralized by real estate. Well, she found one person in 90 days in my little market. I said, there's got to be an easier way. So in 2011, we started developing my private lender data feed. And what my private lender data feed is, we update it through sophisticated software every month. And what we do in the data feed is we put every private lender, I'm not talking institutions and banks, I'm talking about individuals. We put their information in the private lender data feed, contact information, and the amount of money that they're loaning out on deals. And so step number 1, you just go in as a client and student of mine. You just go into the private lender data feed. You search. We update it every month. We keep it all current for 90 days. And you search. I would search my zip code first. All right. So you type in your zip code, and you can search 25 to 500 miles out from any zip code in the nation and locate all the private lenders. Now, in the private lender data feed, we got 2 letters that are already uploaded in the data feed. These letters are mailed out to the private lenders with a call to action to contact you as using the private lender data feed. They contact you, they raise their hand. Now it's an interview process. We're not telling them about private money. We're just asking them, what interest rate are you accustomed to getting? And when they tell me 6%, or my students 6%, I don't try to talk them into 8. I say 6% works for me. So you find out what kind of interest rate they're accustomed to getting, and then you go find a deal just as soon as possible, and you're doing business with existing private lenders. So again, these are the 2 main categories: your own warm market and existing private lenders by using my private lender data feed. And I will tell you this, some people and students of mine say, Jay, my warm market is broke. My warm market ain't got no money, right? Well, first of all, I don't believe that. But secondly, I teach in my Where to Get the Money Now system and at my live events, I teach how to expand your warm market and make your warm market larger, and how to go where the money is right in your community and attract private money from your expanded warm market.
Nice.
Now, beyond that, Chris, a lot of students ask me, what kind of documents do you use to close a private lender deal? And, you raise a lot of private money yourself, Chris. So, I mean, you know this yourself. But the documents that we use to close a private money deal are much simpler, much less than a traditional bank closing. And I've got them right here on the slide. So first document is either an appraisal or a CMA, comparative market analysis. And I will tell you, to date, since 2009, I have yet to be asked by a private lender for an appraisal. That's warm market. But if they did ask for it, I'm prepared to provide the appraisal.
Gotcha.
The second document is the promissory note, which lays out the terms of your deal. You know,
Jake, for the one person that may not know what an appraisal is, help us just break it down to 10 seconds.
sure. So the appraisal is an official document that is prepared by a certified appraiser that comes out to the house or the property, measures everything, and then compares your property to sold comparable properties, and then comes back with an appraised value. Now, if you're going to rehab the house, you'll have to give the appraiser a list of the rehabbed items by line item, and they will give you what's called an after repaired value appraisal.
Gotcha.
So the promissory note simply lays out who's the borrower, who's the private lender, what's the principal loan amount, how much of the payments, what's the interest rate, what's the length of the note. Simple. Now, in my Where to Get the Money Now system, I've got a simple one-page document that you just fill in 12 lines on this Word document and email it to your real estate attorney or your paralegal. That gives them everything they need to know to prepare your closing documents. So you're not spending 30 minutes or an hour on the phone with your real estate attorney getting your documents prepared. All you do is just fill in the lines, email it to them, and they prepare the documents for you.
Okay.
The mortgage, most people call it a mortgage. In North Carolina and some other states, it's called a deed of trust. So what that does is that collateralizes the note and protects your private lender, to where if you don't pay the private lender, the property does. Now, the insurance policy, your private lender is named as the mortgagee on the policy. And God forbid the property burns down, your private lender gets paid first. And after they're paid off, we get what's left over. The title policy, your private lender's named as the additional insured. So in case there's any title problems down the road, they're protected. I will tell you, in 16 years, I've never had a claim against the title policy.
Praise God.
The important question is, who prepares the documents? And of course, the answer is your real estate attorney.
Nice. So those are the documents that we're going to have put together. I wanted to make sure that my Roundup family understands. Jay, is this kind of what protects, what makes our lenders sleep at night?
Absolutely, because you see, we're not borrowing unsecured money. We're borrowing only secured funds, and their notes and their money that they're lending to us is collateralized by the real estate. Now, I typically do not borrow more than 75% of the after repaired value. No more than 75% of the after repaired value. So that will give your private lender a 25% equity cushion. So they're very well protected.
Nice. This system, Jay. So I'm like, I would love to hear more about it. Is that where, I mean, if you would care to share, I'm trying to pull as much out of you as I can, my friend.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to do for your audience, Chris, and I'll tell you, I hardly do what I'm getting ready to do for anybody else, but here we go. So I want to share with your audience right now how to get at least $500,000 lined up in funding within the next 30 days.
I'm all ears.
So here's what I'm talking about. So I've got Jay Connor, my private lending school, which is made up in 3 components. We got the Money Now system. We got access to my live events, and we got ongoing support. So here's the way it works. The first component is the Where to Get the Money Now system. Now, I will tell you, in less than 6 hours, this training is less than 6 hours. This is not a 20 or 30 or 40 hour training. Less than 6 hours will give your people, your Roundup family, all the information that they need to know to get the funding lined up for the deals. And I guarantee when your Roundup family goes through this training of 6 hours, they will not miss out on a deal because they did not have the money.
Come with the money.
So here's the overview. Your Roundup family will get my brochures, that 16-minute transcription. They can record that themselves, or I'll record it for them. They get my scripts. They get my proven direct mail letters that we talked about going out to existing private lenders. They get access to active private lenders, and they get all my resources at my website. So in this training, the Where to Get the Money Now system, how to get all the money you want, regardless of your credit. Your credit's got nothing to do with getting this money. Your verification of income's got nothing to do with getting the funding, and your experience in real estate investing has got nothing to do with it. So, hey, Chris, I'm thinking some of your Roundup family may have heard of the legend guru, Ron LeGrand.
Yeah, yes.
Well, Ron LeGrand himself says Jay's private lending scripts alone are worth the price of this entire system and are the best that Ron LeGrand has ever heard, including his own scripts.
Wow, man.
Here's Shannon from Pittsburgh. He got $1,300,000 in less than a year in funding of just getting my Where to Get the Money Now system. Here's Mac in Raleigh, North Carolina, got $1 million in private money funding in 3 days of getting my Where to Get the Money Now system. Now, that was the first component. Now, the second component of my private lending school is access to my live events. Now, I don't know, Chris, another live event like this, and I know that you're considering coming to my next one, which is only 2 weeks away from right now. But let me just go over what happens at this live event. So it's a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and at this event, I teach all 4 pillars of my real estate investing business. I teach my foreclosure system, which is how to find the hot real estate deals that are deeply discounted before the other real estate investors even know they exist. How do you beat the other real estate investors to the punch on finding these deals? That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is getting private money for your deals. In fact, on the second day of the event in the afternoon, I'll have about a dozen private lenders come to the event for all the attendees to network with and get to know.
Nice.
So finding the deals, funding the deals without relying on banks. My third pillar that I teach at the live event is how we sell any house in 3 days or less without relying on the multiple listing service. That's the third pillar. So with my training, you don't have to worry with getting stuck with a house that you can't sell. And then the fourth pillar is how do you automate the business to where you're running it, it's not running you, and you can actually run this business in less than 10 hours per week. So on the first day, on Wednesday morning, from 8 a.m. to noon, it's all about private money. It's going to be me at the event all 3 days. You got me for 3 days. The afternoon of the first day, we're going to go on my rehab bus tour. And here's what's different about my bus tour. We're actually going to go to houses that are our houses. We'll go to houses that we've already purchased. We may, excuse me, we may not have started the rehab process, or we may have finished. So
get you some water, my brother. You get some water. Take it.
Well, I'll take a swig of dew.
Go ahead. Take a swig, man. Take a swig. There's no pressure. Roundup family, if you're just joining us, I'm hanging out with Jay Connor. You can't see me. I'm hanging out with Jay Connor with his private lending system. He's going over the nuts and bolts here of how he's actually raising all this private money. Hit it, Jay. Got it. Go ahead, my friend.
All right, man. I got to come out and do. I'm good now. So on the afternoon of the first day, we're going on the rehab bus tour, looking at our houses that we may not have started on yet, or we may have just finished and they're all staged. You're going to meet really, really important parts of our team members, our contractors that we do business with, our interior designer, and the entire team. So you can go back home and duplicate the model. On the second day is when I teach my foreclosure system on finding deals and selling houses quickly. The afternoon of the second day, we got private lenders coming to the event. I got a fabulous VIP reception on the evening of the second day. And then the third day, as I said, is all about automation. So you're going to meet private lenders. You're going to learn my buying system, my selling systems, and everything. On the third day, we're also, actually at this upcoming event, it's going to be on the second day, I'm having my dream team panel come to the event. My real estate attorney, my realtor, my virtual assistant, my acquisitionist, All of them will be there on the panel, and the attendees, your attendees, Chris, will learn how I interact with these people, and I'm actually able to run the business on automatic. This event alone is valued at $2,997. I'm including it in this entire package. Here's Ron got $100,000 while attending a recent event of mine. Donald got $500,000 within 3 days of a recent event. And then we've got Clayton from Missouri. And by the way, the movers and shakers come to this event, Chris, all over the nation. And in fact, as of right now, I've already got 78 people confirmed, double confirmed today to be at the event. I've only got room for about 20 more people, and we are out of room, I'll tell you, for this upcoming event. But here, Clayton got $200,000 from being at one of my recent events. He says, after the first day, Jay, at your live event, it was crystal clear to me on how to locate the private lenders. And driving home, he got 3 appointments and $200,000 from his first appointment. So it's a life-changing event. So here are the dates for the upcoming live event, October 9th, 10th, and 11th. So that's 2 weeks away. Everybody's still got, time to get here. And when you enroll and get the package here that we're offering up, you'll get an email right away giving you instructions on how to register for the live event and get your hotel rooms reserved and all that. So again, that's October 9th, 10th, and 11th on the upcoming live event. Nice. The third component of the package is ongoing support. So next week, you'll be informed on how to get onto my private group coaching call. You got unlimited email support. You can call my office forever for support. And if you're going to make offers on bank-owned properties, you're going to need proof of funds. I've got you covered. I got proof of funds letters for y'all to use that work fantastically. Each letter is good for up to $600,000 per deal. So I got you covered on proof of funds. Nice. So Chris, here's a recap of everything that's in the package. You got the Money Now system, 2 tickets. Yes, they can bring a guest. Now, by the way, Chris, if your Roundup family cannot come to the upcoming live event, next year I've already got the events planned, and they can come anytime over the next year. So they don't have to be locked in, for week after next, but that's just available to them if they're able to make it. So you got the home study system, you got the 3-day live event, 2 tickets to that. You can bring a guest. You got support from myself and my staff here at the office, and proof of funds. That total value is $74.85. Because you are a follower of Chris Haskin, your investment is not $74.85. In fact, at my website right now, this package is priced at $2,500, but we're going to reduce that price for your followers, Chris, nowhere close to $2,500. In fact, it's not $2,500. In fact, it's not even $1,497, which is the least that I offered up. And you know what I'm talking about because you've seen me speak. That's the least I offered up.
I have.
Your Roundup family, Chris, we are slashing this down to only $997. And because of this special discount, this is only going to be available through this coming Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Now, Chris, I know because you twisted my arm before we started the show. In fact, it was like 3 days ago you twisted my arm. Because you give maximum value, you demand maximum value. So I've got some bonuses. But for the bonuses, I want to share with everybody this comparison. If you borrow hard money and you borrow $100,000, that's going to cost you $20,000 in a year. For only a $997 investment, you have got funding for your real estate deals for life. Wow. Also, Chris, for your Roundup family, I got a full 1-year guarantee. If they don't have at least a measly $100,000 in private money within a year and they've been to one of my live events, I'm going to write them a check back for $997 because I'm telling you, the reason I'm willing to do this is I know it works. Chris, I got 4 amazing bonuses for your Roundup family. And here we go. First bonus, I will record your people everybody that's coming into my world here on this offer, I will personalize the 16-minute audio called Stress-Free Investing that they can send out to their potential private lenders. They can email it. They can text it. They can hand out CDs. They'll get their first 25 CDs for free. I will personalize that CD for them to use. That's a value of $497, all included in this package. That's bonus number one.
So you're going to go in the studio and
studio once a month. And so what's going to do is Brenda Smith, my office manager, will email step-by-step instructions. They'll email in here their introduction. I'll go to the studio. I'll record and personalize their CD for them, and they'll be able to use that tool to attract the private money.
Nice. Gotcha. Okay.
That's bonus number one. Bonus number two. Oh, my lands, Chris, your people right here on your YouTube channel are the first people on the planet to hear about and be able to take advantage of having access to my brand new, never released before membership site. So this is called the Private Money Academy membership site. We're going to give your people as a bonus special access in this membership site. The first 30 days is my foundational real estate investing course. Again, on finding deals, selling deals, etc. And so when they enroll, they'll get instructions on how to take advantage of getting in as a charter member on the Private Money Academy.
Nice.
Bonus number three. This is crazy. So Carol Joy and I, we are giving away to all of your Roundup family that come in here on this special offer a free full week getaway vacation at mine and Carol Joy's Oceanfront Beach Resort right here in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. It is absolutely gorgeous. They can take advantage of that. Here's a few pictures. We actually rent these condos out at $1,400 a week during the summertime. And for your Roundup family, as just part of this package, they're getting a full week getaway vacation absolutely for free. They got putt-putt. They got an indoor swimming pool. They got the spas. They got the saunas. They got the great big slides out there on the beach. Absolutely beautiful. A few full week getaway vacation. That's bonus number three. And then in addition to that, bonus number four, unbelievable. I'm giving all of your Roundup family that comes in on this offer a brand new spectacular tablet. And they're going to use this tablet to access the private lender data feed for existing private lenders. So this tablet will be mailed to them within 24 business hours of them enrolling here in the package. The private lender data feed, again, it's going to give them direct access to existing private lenders, so they've got even more private money to fund their deals. So there's the recap, Chris. We got the home study system, 2 tickets to my upcoming live event that I talked about, proof of funds support, the CDs, the brand new charter membership to the Private Money Academy, a full week's getaway at the resort, a free brand new tablet, access to the private lender data feed. The total value of this package is $10,582. And for your Roundup family, Chris, only $997. So here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. Enroll now. Here's how you go to it. Go to www.jayconner.com/Chris, K-R-I-S. And at that website, it's only at that website you're going to be able to get this complete package for only $997. And again, the offer ends this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
We put the link in the video. Roundup family, we put the link in the video description, so you don't even have to remember it. Just go right below, Roundup family.
In fact, what do they do? They just click right below and then go right to it.
It's right on the video description, Roundup. All you got to do is just click, go right down to it. It's no big deal. Wow, that is Jay, this is just unbelievable value, my friend. And I'm here to tell you, Roundup, you don't have to believe Jay. I have seen this man. I have done all the pre-screening for you. I've seen him have the offer this same packet for $2,000 in other places. I promise you, on stage. And believe it if you want. But I want to ask you, what seed, Roundup family, what seed are you sowing for your future? For me, it's like I know I had to make a decision. Sow the seed for this private money. Just kind of changed my life. This stuff here.
Yeah, well, and you've experienced it for yourself, Chris. Hey, Chris, I got a question for your Roundup family. Who just wants this whole package for free, right?
Wow.
Who wants it for free? So here's what I'm going to do for your Roundup family, Chris. They enroll, they come in at the $9.97, and I'm going to give your Roundup family 90 days. Everybody that comes in on this package, I'm going to give them 90 days, 3 full months to use this information, go get their first private money deal, and send me a testimonial. I want it video and I want it in writing. Send me a testimonial. And in exchange for the testimonial, I'm going to write your people back a check for $997. And they get to keep everything for free in exchange for their testimonial.
Wow. Unbelievable, Jay.
So welcome to my world, everybody. There's the recap right there of everything you're getting.
Let me see. Hold tight, Jay. Somebody's saying the link isn't working. Jamon, can somebody check the link? Smitty, are you there? Can you check this link? It seems like something's not working, but they got my card. Yeah. Let
me see here. I'm gonna check it right here.
For me, Jay. Yeah, it's working for me.
Is it working for you?
Yeah, it is working for me.
Gotcha.
Jay,
somebody might want to close out their cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
Get rid of the cookies that's in your laptop.
Yeah.
And go back to www.jconnor.com/KRS. Chris, I don't think the KRIS is case sensitive.
I don't think it is.
Just to be sure, did you type in all lowercase or a capital K?
Let me see. jconnor.com/KRS. It's lowercase, Jay. It's not mattering to me. I didn't try uppercase, but lowercase.
So all lowercase worked for you, KRIS?
Yeah, it worked fine. But I got a hyperlink in the video description too. There should be. Roundup family. Somebody let me know if that link is working on your side. It works. Okay, Smitty's telling me it's working. It's not a hyperlink. Jay, I gotta get to some Q&A. Can we get to some Q&A? I got about 1,000 questions over here. We gotta get to some of them, man.
Man, I tell you what, Chris, I'm here as long as you want me.
You got what else you got to share with my family members? Bubba, I'm teaching the class.
Bubba wants some attention.
Yeah, she's something. I mean, she's getting gracious. Sorry about that, Jay. I can't figure out how to mute this. Jay, what else you got for my Roundup family members before we get to Q&A?
Man, I don't know what else to give. I mean, the upcoming live event is 2 weeks away, actually 2 weeks from yesterday. Again, as I said, for your Roundup family that can't make it week after next, I've got the event already scheduled next week. I mean, for next year. So everybody's got at least a year to take advantage of it, and they can come back as many times as they want to, because every event's different. And I teach new stuff, new resources, new strategies at all the events.
I love it. Okay, let's do this. Roundup family, make sure you give us a thumbs up. This is Jay Connor answering questions on private lending. And I'm sure, Jay's been doing this business forever. So if you got questions about real estate, I'm sure he'd be happy to cover them. Oh, I got to get the screen over here. Let me do this, Jay. I gotta put the banner up so I can. Roundup family, to get Jay's private lending system. Links below. jconnor.com/Chris. Let's do this. Oh, I love Q&A is my favorite, Jay. I just love giving back, man.
I love Q&A.
What we got? Brandon wants me to be his trustee. Brandon, I'll check that trust document when I get done. Sorry about that. Richmond Hanshaw, what up, Hanshaw? Annapolis, Bobby. 661 Rick. 661 Rick. Hey, Jay, he wants to know, is private money based on personal credit or based on the deal? Good question, Rick.
My lands, that's an awesome question. So here's the deal. I'm going to set you free. So private money has got nothing to do with your credit. you can have a mid credit score of 425, which is pretty low, and get as much private money as anybody else. So if you're taking notes, here's what I want you to write down. Private money is a collateral loan. Private money is a collateral-based loan. So the reason that the private lenders are loaning you the money is because of the real estate that is backing that note. So again, no, your credit's got nothing to do with it. Your verification of income has got nothing to do with it. Okay. And since the collateral's backing it, your experience and number of deals has got nothing to do with it. It's all collateral based. Excellent question.
Good question. Smitty. Hey, Smitty. Just hit the like button. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Alton. Hey, Alton, Brisbane. If you fund the property with private money, is a lease option or sandwich lease option no longer considered?
Yeah. So good question. So when you buy a property with private money, you won't be doing a sandwich lease option, because here's what a sandwich lease option is. A sandwich lease option is you're controlling the property by buying it on lease option, and then you're selling the property on lease option. So when you buy it on lease option, you've got an underlying debt going out per month. And when you're selling that same property, you got monthly income coming in, and the sandwich is you in the middle, which means you got a positive cash flow. Well, when you're buying it with private money, there's no underlying debt on the old mortgage. It got paid off. Okay. But here's the beautiful thing. You can still buy the property with private money and sell it on lease option or rent to own, which is the same thing, as long as what you're bringing in per month is a positive cash flow over and beyond what you're paying out to your private lender. And of course, another great benefit on selling on rent to own or lease purchase is you're going to get that large non-refundable option fee or lease option deposit.
Yes.
And you sell it. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, I sold a $293,000 home here in Morehead City, and it's funded with private money. Bought that house with private money.
Bubba.
Bought it with private money, and she gave me a $64,000 non-refundable lease option deposit.
Nice. That's a smoking deal right there. Alton, good question, Alton. Sun Goddess. Hey, would you recommend subject to existing financing to someone who wanted to purchase a home for the first time without going to the bank for a traditional mortgage? Good question, Sun Goddess.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad they asked about subject to. So Chris, I got an advanced strategy here. Do you think Roundup family can handle this at night?
Let's do it. Yeah, this is getting a little late. Let's give it a strategy.
So here's an advanced strategy. I'm glad you brought up. Who brought up subject to, Chris?
You can see. Can you see on your screen, Sun Goddess? Where you from?
I'm just seeing my PowerPoint. So Sun Goddess.
You can stop sharing.
Here's the advanced strategy.
Hit your stop sharing your screen button, Jay.
Well, I want them to see my screen, right?
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So here's the advanced strategy, and I've done this many times. And Chris, I know you've done it too. You can buy a house subject to the existing note, and you can get a private lender note, private lender money, put that money in second position as a junior lien or junior mortgage, okay? And use that money, like, $20,000, $25,000, whatever. Use that money to either bring past payments current or to cover carrying costs. Or if you got to cut the grass while you're marketing the house, I mean, with this hairdo, I ain't cutting the grass, right? I ain't cutting the grass. So every house has got carrying costs. So you can buy a house subject to the existing note and still use private money in second position. Here's the catch. You don't want to borrow more than 75% total loan to value. Now, let me define that. Let me define total loan to value. So if you've got an underlying mortgage and you have a little bit of private money, you add those two mortgages together, divide it by the after repaired value, don't exceed more than 75%, because you still want to have a nice 25% equity cushion to keep everybody safe.
Gotcha. Son Goddess, you heard it from the man right there. Yeah, I'm a subject to God to the death. If I can get that, 13% is all you're gonna get. So good question, Son Goddess. Jamon, hey Jamon, if I advertise a deal, you guys let me know where you're coming from. Please tell me where you're hailing from. If I advertise my deal at an IRA networking event, when is it a violation of the SEC guidelines? I guess he's talking about out there soliciting for securities.
So there's more than one answer to that question, and that's a good question.
Yeah.
First of all, it depends on what SEC attorney you talk to, right?
Yeah, that'll be a different answer.
So here, let me give you a couple of answers. And so I'm not an attorney. I'm not an SEC attorney, never played one on TV or the radio, but I'll just tell you what I've learned from my SEC attorneys. So, the rules changed about 4 years ago. We can now openly solicit legally due to 506B. But if you openly solicit, and here's my definition of openly soliciting: advertise on the radio, advertise on TV, put an ad in the newspaper. That's openly soliciting. All right. Mm-hmm. So I can only borrow from accredited investors if I do that. Now, here's my practice, my best business practice. When I'm at a social event, IRA, Dunes Club, Rotary Club, church, whatever the social event is, if I'm meeting people, I'm talking about what I do. In fact, Chris, let me just give a lot of value right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me just tell everybody how I introduce myself when I meet somebody new. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to introduce yourself to somebody new in a way that could engage conversation, be an interesting answer, and lead to more private money?
Wow. So, nice.
Here's the deal. When you meet somebody new, what do they say? What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do? Well, most people answer that question in a very boring way. Mm-hmm. What do you do? I'm a real estate investor. And they're going, oh, that's nice. Who cares? Or I'm an attorney, or I'm a realtor, or I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician, I'm an accountant, I'm a CPA, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Now, when I meet somebody new and they ask me what I do, you know what my answer is?
Go.
Here's my answer. I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. That's my answer. Now, they don't have a clue what I just said, right? I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. But let me tell you what they did here. First of all, the first thing they heard was make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. They heard that. The second thing they heard was I'm a teacher. I teach. So very non-invasive, very soft. I'm a teacher. I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. The third thing they heard was private lenders. They don't know what a private lender is. Mm-mm. So when you answer the question that way, I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money, you have got to discipline yourself to shut up. All right. Because they're going to look at you like with deer in the headlights. Mm-hmm. And you just sit there and smile, right? I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. And you'll get all kinds of responses like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Or, what? Now that leads to a conversation of what private money is about. They go, what? I'll say, well, have you ever heard of private money? Well, no, they ain't never heard of private money. So now here goes the conversation.
Gotcha. Open it up. Good question, Jamon. Well, Jay, are you doing radio ads and TV ads? I'm seeing YouTube people now doing ads. Okay.
No, don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't have to. I mean, I could, but I don't have to.
Alton wants to know, can I use private money through my self-directed? Now, he didn't say Roth. I'm just reading the question, Jay. Self-directed IRA.
Absolutely. So a couple of different ways. So if you've got a self-directed IRA or you've got retirement funds of any kind, 401k, pension, doesn't matter, you can transfer that money over to a self-directed IRA company. Now you got choices. You can be a real estate investor with your self-directed IRA money and go invest in a house, rehab a house, flip a house, and whatever the profit is, all that goes back into your self-directed IRA, penalty-free and either tax-free or deferred taxes, depending on the kind of account you got. Or you can be like over half of my private lenders that have their retirement funds in a self-directed IRA, and they lend that to me. I've got one private lender last year made $65,000.
Good gracious.
Tax-free money. Tax-free money. By
What did they do?
their money to us in our business, and the returns we pay them back are interest-free and tax-free and penalty-free.
Tax-free. Nice. Khalil. Hey, Khalil. How do you use private money on pretty houses? I think you went over that a little bit.
Yeah.
The seller needs all the money. How do you use private money on pretty houses when the seller needs all the money? Are we using no money down as a down payment, or are we using them to buy the house outright?
So again, if they won't sell on a pretty house, if they won't sell us on terms and they require all the cash, I'm going to use the private money and pay all cash. So again, it all comes down to when the seller requires all the money.
Gotcha.
Whether there's rehab involved or not.
Oh man, I love this one, Jay. In reality, how easy is 661 Rick? It's so crazy. I'm looking at this question. We just had a big check wired today. How easy is it for a private lender to just wire $100,000 for someone else's project? Can it be that easy? Is he missing something?
You ain't missing a thing, brother. You ain't missing a thing. I mean, they're going to wire the funds either from their investment capital from their bank, or they're going to execute a direction of investment with their self-directed IRA company, and their self-directed IRA account will wire that directly to their closing agent.
Thank you for that one, Jay. 661 Rick. I didn't get to Jay. I wish we had more time, but Jay, I'm gonna have to get you back on one more time next week, my friend. It's so much to ask you about your posture, but let's go. I'm gonna keep going with the questions. Jermaine wants to know, how do you write a prospectus? Is that included in your program?
You don't need no prospectus.
Gotcha.
You don't need no prospectus. Now you need a prospectus when you're doing syndication and you are pooling private lenders' funds in a syndication pool.
Gotcha.
But in this deal, in this program, we're not doing syndication. And I'll tell you the reason I don't do syndication. Nothing wrong with it. It's all legal. But you got to pay an SEC attorney about $35,000 to draw up the prospectus. Gotcha. and the documentation. But the only security your private lenders get is a piece of paper, like a stock. But in this program, we're talking about every deal. I'm so glad you asked this question. Every deal stands on its own. Private lender loans money, and that money and note is collateralized by a property.
Nice. Jermaine, I want to make sure, because sometimes in my travels, prospectus is kind of equal to a presentation. So I don't know if you did that. Yeah, I don't know if he
presentation. Yeah,
but that comes in your system, Jay. The presentation.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood the question. So, presentation is the program. So step number 4 is the one-on-one appointment.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm glad you clarified this, Chris. So the one-on-one appointment is where you actually go over the program. So in this package of component 1, 2, and 3, and all 4 bonuses, the component number 1, home study system, that includes access to the private area of my students' area at my website. So if people go to jconner.com, you'll see the students' area, but you can't get in there unless you've got this package or a package like it. So you'll get a password that will get you to the back side of my website, and you'll be able to download the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation. Actually, there's 2 different presentations at my website that my students with this package can download. We have what's called the private lender presentation, which, is the prospectus, if you will. All right. That's included in this package. And we also have what's called the civic group presentations, to where I have a PowerPoint that my students have used and I've used that's attracted millions and millions of dollars. In fact, I got one student that's gotten over $5 million using just this one presentation in my back office. And you'll like present this at the Rotary Club, and that you use that presentation as a lead generator. So at the end of the Rotary Club presentation, it just talks about self-directed IRAs. And then you hand people the 16-minute audio that I recorded for you. And now that's a lead generator, and that leads to one-on-one appointments with those people.
Gotcha. Good question, Jermaine. Michael Ray is using hard money right now.
Oh, my land, Michael. Let me set you free, Michael. Let me set you free.
He said he's crying right now, Jay. I feel him. I
understand. Hey, look, but here's the good news, Michael. You ain't got to cry no more. You ain't got to cry no more. Hey, look, you know what I love, Michael? Your past does not dictate your future, right? Your past does not dictate your future. You don't have to get those kind of loans anymore. Come into my world and you set the rules. You set the interest rate. You set the term. You set the frequency of payments. You set the length of the note. We set the rules.
Jay, Jermon wants to know, a lot of people saying they're private lenders out there, but they're really hard money people in disguise, charging for fees.
You got that right.
I can't. Tell us a little bit real quickly, Jay, about that. Is that something that they're looking for?
Yeah. So you got to be careful. A lot, you'll see in like real estate investing magazines and stuff, you'll see private lenders like headline on a spreadsheet. I mean, on an open spread ad in the magazine or a digital ad in the magazine. And yeah, it's private money.
Can you cut the fan off in the bathroom?
Yeah, it's private money, but on those programs, you're not getting the money directly from the source. You're getting the money from a hard money broker who has gone out and raised the private money and is a middle person. In fact, Chris, I think I've told you this, but there are hard money lenders in the nation right now that use my systems and strategies to go raise even more private money for them to jack up the rates and then loan out to real estate investors.
Middleman.
What we're teaching in this package and pulling the curtain back to your Roundup family is how to go directly to the source and get the money.
William McCandles, thank you so much for your love offering. You got a love offering from William. William, thank you so much, my friend. So Stoic wants to know about the fees for the real estate appraisal and inspection. I guess that's the agent appraisal and inspection. Is that something you can do quickly?
Yes, sir. I will tell you this. Since borrowing private money since 2009, I've never had a private lender in my warm market ask me for an appraisal. Okay. If they did, I would provide it, but they've never been asked. They never asked for a CMA. So typically I'm not even paying for an appraisal. I get all my CMAs for free from my realtor because of the relationship that I have with the realtor. And then as far as the home inspection goes, depending on the inspector that you use, you're typically going to be paying $250 for a home inspection.
So I know up here a home inspection is a $400. I don't know, Morehead City. The dollar probably goes a little further there.
A little bit.
But so we got, let's say $300 for inspection. Appraisal, Jay, go.
If you do an appraisal, it's going to cost you $400.
So you're looking at $600 to $800.
And starting out, unless you've got a strong relationship with a realtor, I'd recommend you get an appraisal and get a home inspection. That will be the cheapest insurance money you can pay to make sure you're protected.
Bobby Jam says his private money guy back in the day was 8%, 2 points. Wow. Hey, Tanya, I'm looking for private money. What platform can she find? Oh, here we go. You got it right here. That's the platform for you. Edua00. You guys are killing me with these names, Roundup family. Edua00. How you doing, my friend? Roundup family, I'm here with Jay Conner. We're doing Q&A on how to raise private money and real estate in general. Make sure you visit the link below to check out Jay Conner's private lending system and get all this stuff you see on the screen right now. Edua, 00. How many private lenders do you need do you use on average how many private lenders do you use on an average deal, Jay?
Well, it depends on the deals. So, I could use on big deals, I can use 4 or 5 private lenders. And here's why. So, in your private lending program, and I go over this in my Where to Get the Money Now system, you're going to need to decide what your minimum amount is that you're willing to accept from a private lender.
What's that for you, Jay?
My minimum is $30,000, not because I can buy a house with $30,000, but I can rehab with $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can have a private lender in first position for purchasing the property. And then if I got other private lenders that only $30,000, I got to have a second, a third, and a fourth private lender in those junior positions. Again, you want to add up each of the private lenders' dollars amount, divide by your after repaired value, and not exceed 75% of the after.
75%.
Yeah.
Good question. Josh. Hey, Josh, what's up, my brother? Is a self-directed IRA the only or best way to go when you're investing into real estate, Jay?
What was that question again?
He wants to know, is a self-directed IRA the only way or the best way to invest your retirement into real estate?
Well, it depends on if you want passive income or if you want to be a active real estate investor yourself, where you're finding the deals and, overseeing rehabs and et cetera. So, my private lenders, what they love about it is they don't have to do anything except watch their accounts grow and watch the checks come in. So it really comes down to the objective of the person that's got the self-directed IRA.
Jay, I don't think there's a cookie cut. I think we're all looking for go to the casino and pull the lever. We're looking for the one thing that fits everybody. I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, and it's you got to know what so I let the market dictate how I buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, if there's a mortgage, we talk about subject to, and then we go to, private money. If it's free and clear, we talk seller financing. So, it depends on where the seller's coming from.
Gotcha. Good question, Josh. DeAndre Lee, hey, will private lenders loan on foreclosed properties, Jay?
Absolutely. In fact, I put an offer in day before yesterday on a really nice high-end luxury house, and the after repaired value is $350,000. Current bid is $157,000, and if I win that bid and nobody upsets my bid, it's all going to be funded with private money. Good question.
I'm just imagining how far a $300,000 house goes in Morehead City, my friend. It's got to be
a
crazy.
long ways, like $1 million up where you are.
I'm sure. Shay, traditional bank gives 15 to 30 years to pay back a loan. That's true. How do you pay back a private lender in 1 year, Jay?
Well, I don't. I do if I sell the property and flip it and cash out. So that's actually a good question. So my terms, or the length of the note for private lending, if they're just giving me investment capital, it's a 2-year term. If their money's coming from a self-directed IRA, it's a 5-year term. But here's the secret. It's really a moot point. The private lenders don't want their money back. I mean, when we cash out and sell the property, I got to pay them off or substitute the collateral for that note. That's another conversation, Chris.
No, anyway, don't do that. Don't do that yet, Jay.
Yeah, but anyway, they don't want the money back. So even if I haven't cashed out in 2 years, the private lender 100% of the time is going to want to extend the term because they want to keep their money in play. They want to have their principal loan amount still earning money.
Yeah. I've had private lenders, Jay, call me mad. Like, what you mean you're going to cash me out? I don't want this money.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't want the money back. They don't want the money back.
William. Hey, William got your card. He wants to know there's 3 tabs. Does it matter which add to cart tab he clicks on the website, Jay? Does it matter?
Not that I know of. I mean, it should not matter when it says, add to cart.
Chris says it's working for him. Hey, Chris. Smitty says it's working. It's not a hyperlink. Kristen wants to know, can she get your private lending program separate from attending the event, Jay? I think you just threw that in, did you?
Oh, I just threw that in. I mean, you don't have to come to the event. I mean, it'll be a pretty wise decision if you do come. but I've just thrown that in as free access for your people, Chris.
I appreciate that, Jay. Yeah, that's amazing. Cash flow pretty. That's a cool name. Do we hold the cash until we need it, or do we contract the loan as needed?
Excellent question.
That is a good one.
So we do not have the private lender wire their funds to your real estate attorney or closing agent until you're ready to close a deal. Now, you say, well, I'm afraid the money's going to get away. And that's a valid concern. But if your real estate attorney is like my real estate attorney, once money is wired to their account, to their trust account, they have to know what's that money going to go with. Your real estate attorney's trust account is not like a savings account, right?
Yeah, escrow account. You
need to have a deal, a property identified prior to having the funds wired to the closing agent. Good question.
Good question. Frank, hey, Frank, what's up, brother? Any reason why the lender doesn't give you the money in your hand? Man, that's a good one.
That is an excellent question. Because you want to protect your private lenders. So your private lender can give the money to you in your hand. In fact, I have private lenders when they're brand new. They say, hey, Jay, how do I get started? I'm ready to write you a check.
Mm-hmm.
No. Now, if you were borrowing unsecured funds, you would take the money directly from the private lender. But I don't operate that way, and I don't recommend it. I want to give my private lenders collateral. I want their loan to be protected by the real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going to be protected by the real estate and their loan and their principal loan amount is going to be protected by the real estate, they can't give the money to me. They have to send it directly to your closing agent. And then once all the documentation is recorded on public record and it's closed, then the funds are dispersed.
Nice. Good question. Brandon wants to know, he's trying to get his for free. I'm not mad at him. After we raise the money, Jay, does he have to close the deal to get the free refund, or does he just how does that work?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Brandon's trying to get his course paid for free. He's trying to get his refund.
Sure.
I'm not mad at him. He wants to know after he raises the money, does he have to close the deal to get the refund?
Yes.
You got to close that deal, Brandon.
So you raise your private money, you buy a property, and send me your testimonial, and I'll write you a check back for $997.
That's crazy. Jerry, hey Jerry, can she borrow the money to buy a flip? Yes, we know that. And also use it to fix it? Yes. Also, does she have to pay the loan monthly payments while rehabbing? I love that one.
Oh,
man, same way.
Fantastic question. So we structure a lot of our deals, and you'll learn this in my private lending school and package, but we structure a lot of deals that don't have monthly payments.
No monthly payments.
In fact, you can do the private money and you can structure the deal to where you don't even pay the private lender any payments until you cash out. Now, watch this, because this is magic. All right. So since we always borrow more money than we need to buy the house and rehab the house, let's say your private lender is an elderly person and they need the monthly income. They need the monthly income that you would pay them with monthly payments. Guess what? I don't care. You know why? Because when I'm borrowing more money than I need to buy the house and I'm paying them monthly payments, whose money am I using to make their monthly payments? Their money. I'm borrowing more money from them than I need to buy the house. And if they need monthly payments, I'm using their money to make their monthly payments from the money that they loan to me.
Good question, Jerry.
But hey, here's the catch. That money's going to run out. So you want to get that property, that house fixed up, cash flowing, sold ASAP before that money runs out.
Ali Media Creations wants to know, can he do Section 8 tenants with private money?
Absolutely. So
They don't care.
So HUD houses, again, anytime the seller of the property requires all the cash, private money.
King May. Hey, King, will this be repeated? Where can I go get the replay? Yeah, we're going to keep this one up. Comes down. Did you say Saturday night, Jay? When does this
Sunday night. So now you'll have to tell everybody about them watching your YouTube replay. You know more about that than I do. But right here at this website, jconnor.com/Chris, KRIS, we're going to keep this page up at jconnor.com/Chris until Sunday night, this Sunday night, until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. And please, folks, please don't go to this website at 12:05 at night because it will be gone. And why? And you say, well, Jay, why are you taking it down? Because it's real simple. I know human nature. If you don't have a deadline, you're not going to take action. And if you're not going to take action, you're not going to change your business. So I self-impose the deadline to help force you to be successful in your business.
Thank you, Jay. Stringer Bell. Hey, in Chicago, the proof of funds letter, will we use the letter to hold the deal until we find the private funds, or are you giving us the funds if the deal makes sense? Good question.
Yeah. So I'm not giving you the funds. I'm giving you all the training you need to get your own funds. All right. So the proof of funds letter, here's when you use the proof of funds letter, and I'm so glad they asked this question.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to use the proof of funds letter on bank-owned properties.
Gotcha.
And or short sales. That's the only time. So the only time you're going to use proof of funds letters is in the multiple listing service when there's a bank-owned property or a foreclosure that's been listed in the multiple listing service. Almost 100% of the time, the bank that owns that property is going to require a proof of funds letter with your offer.
Yeah.
With your offer that you put in. So a lot of your private lenders don't want to give their copies of their bank statements as proof that they got the money to fund your deal. That's private information. So I have a proof of funds letter from my company that proves that somebody's got the money to close on this deal. But you don't have to use the money from that letter to close on the deal. You use the proof of funds letter to get your offer accepted, and then you use your private lender funds to close on the deal. Nice. Good question. Good question.
Hey, Steph Hanshaw, what's up? He's got a private lender. He's in the Richmond area. But his terms are not as bad as hard money. Not as good as you spoke about tonight, though. Should I try to renegotiate my terms with him or look for other private lenders? Good question.
Both. So, renegotiate the terms with the current private lender, and then use my program, my private lending program for your new private lenders. So I didn't tell this earlier, but I want to go ahead and tell it.
Hit it.
So Chris, all your people that are coming in with this package, and I know you got a lot of them coming in next Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern time. Next Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern, and they'll get an email and a phone call. Okay. I'm going to have a private group coaching call just for your Roundup family that comes in on this package. In fact, I'd love to have you on the call, Chris, so we can interact if you're available. But just for your Roundup family, next Wednesday, 12 noon, everybody that comes in on this package, you'll get an email with dial-in instructions, and we're going to record the call. And for those of you that can't make the group coaching call, on that call next Wednesday, I am going to explain step by step my private lending program that I offer to my new private lenders.
Gotcha.
And your Roundup family, everybody that's coming in on this package, will be able to duplicate and use my program for raising their own private money. I will also stay on that call as long as your Roundup family wants me to stay on and answer any questions about private money or any questions about real estate investing. In fact, Chris, I'll get you that dial-in information. You and me can do that call together.
Yeah, we can do that, and we can even consider doing a video chat here. Okay, next is Chris. Hey, my boy Chris up in Maryland. He wants to know, Jay, do you offer a private money network for people that have self-directed IRAs, and are you accepting new investors to your network? How does
I
he get?
do. That's a good question. So I help both categories of people. I help real estate investors like we're doing tonight, borrow the money. And I also help individuals that want to be a private lender, but they have a problem. They don't know who they want to do business with.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got an entire, and you've heard me talk about this at other events, Chris. So I've got a vetting process to where I vet out seasoned real estate investors that have proven themselves. And I have a matching program to where if you want to be a private lender, I will match you to successful real estate investors that, are doing deals and et cetera. So yes, I do that as well.
Gotcha. Good. Okay. Next question, Chris. Good question, my friend. We already did that one. Kristen wants to know, can you have multiple private lenders on one deal? Thanks for staying on,
Absolutely.
Jay. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just don't want to exceed the 75% of the total loan to value.
100%. How do we do? We already did, Ali. We went to we already did Section 8 tenants already. It's so stoic. Wants to know, what is the cost of your real estate attorney to close these deals, Jay?
Yeah, so that varies by area, but with my real estate attorney, it's going to be $650. I pay $450 for the title search, for their time, and $200 for documentation or for documentation preparation, the deed, etc. So I'm paying my real estate attorney $650 on a deal that I buy.
Nice. The Roundup family.
And that doesn't come out of my pocket. That's all funded by the private lender.
By the lender. I think, Jay, just tell us very briefly, your attorney, no doubt, is not the same attorney you used when you started. So it took me time to find somebody that I could kind of mesh with, Jay. People think they're going to meet these experts as soon as they get in the business. Could you kind of give us a little snapshot of that?
Yeah, so actually I am still using the same firm, the same real estate and attorney firm that I started with 16 years ago.
Okay.
But the attorney that I'm using in the firm only practices now real estate deals. So
Gotcha.
When I started out, the real estate attorney I used in the firm did real estate, did estates, established corporations. I mean, we're in a small town. But I guess for the past 7 or 8 years, the attorney in the firm just does real estate closing deals. So for my students that come into this package, I actually have a training that they'll have access to that's called How to Locate and Find a Real Estate Investing Friendly Attorney, right? So, how to find them that will close your subject to deals, seller finance, creative deals. But we'll get that training to all your people as well.
Yeah, cool. Jay, is that normal to be using the same attorney from the beginning? I'm just like all the people that I've met, they have to go through many to get to go. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not normal, except I have figured out it's not normal for most real estate investors. But for my students, I have figured out a process on how to locate on the outstart at the very beginning, how to locate a real estate attorney that you want to do business with that you can stick with.
Gotcha. Tanya just ordered the course. Tanya, thank you for supporting and investing in yourself.
Congratulations, Tanya.
Yeah, good for you, Tanya. She wants to know, will private lenders pay off hard money lenders?
Absolutely. Oh, my lands, Tanya. I'm so glad you asked this question. So, yes, use the private money lenders that I have here in this system to refinance your current projects that you're paying too high of interest. Or let's say you got a free and clear property. You can use the private money to refinance that free and clear and pull cash out for whatever you want to use it for.
That was my strategy. That was my long-term strategy, Jay. Pay off all my real estate, get private lenders to hold deeds of trust so I can just borrow it whenever I want. You just mentioned my wealth strategy.
There you go.
Nice. Frank, hey, how do we exit a buy and hold? How do we exit a buy and hold?
Well, I mean, nothing comes to mind on exiting a buy and hold until you decide you don't want to hold it anymore and you just want to sell it.
Yeah, shit, I'm holding all my stuff. I mean, everybody's different. I don't know. I think that's not a one size fits all, is it, Jay?
Correct.
Yeah. Frank, we need a little bit more on the
And
market.
that does bring up a good point, though. Private money is just not for flipping. You can use private money for buying and holding as well.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned when we started out, you can use it for commercial, small apartments, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, all that.
Scotty Leonard. Hey, Scotty, he wants to know how many days long will the free getaway resort be included with
7
the
days.
package? 7 days.
7
Okay.
days.
Is that available year round, Jay, or just in the summer?
That is available September through May.
September through May. Gotcha. All right. Chris Birch. Chris Birch says 997 is peanuts, folks.
You got
Just
that
for the
right.
network of, yeah, I mean, you guys,
right.
When I first asked Jay how much to sell it for, I think you might have said no. I don't even.
I did say no.
Remember, I was saying, I'm like, Jay, man, we're not. Anyway, I don't want to get into that.
Telling you.
Matt Gardner. Hey, Matt, don't give me a hard time, Jay. What is the longest time a private lender would let me use their money? I like to use private money to hold on to property as a long-term rental. Good question, Matt.
Yeah. So, I mean, as I said, on flips, 2 years, on self-directed IRAs, 5 years.
Sky's
But,
the limit.
I got private lenders that's been loaning me money for 10 years. So, the answer is, as long as your private lender wants to get a nice rate of return, they don't want the money back.
I'm telling you, they get mad. I had a lady. Okay, Chris Birch said he wish he had paid $997 years ago. He understands how this works now. Jay, we are done with questions. Woo! Wow.
All right, brother. I'm telling you. So look, as we said, Chris, we're gonna leave this up until this Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, and then it's down and gone. So you got plenty of time to get your act together, take advantage of it. But I'm telling you, folks, this package at this price ain't out there anywhere else on the planet. I can tell you. I mean, just look alone at the tablet. I mean, you got a $400 tablet here.
Yeah.
You got a $1,400. I'm talking real money here.
Yeah.
You got a $1,400 getaway vacation. The Private Money Academy membership alone is $1,200 for a year. So I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
Jay, I've seen you speak in 3 different states. Never seen it at this price. Anyway, they can't believe it or not. Roundup family, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this content, share with other investors. Before I let you go, Jay, final thoughts on private lending. Then we'll get out of here.
Private thoughts on private lending is, so here's the final thought. When you start now using private money, you will be in control of your real estate investing destiny.
Wow.
You set the rules, you set the terms, and no longer will you be beholden to the banks, and no longer will you be just confined to doing deals on terms. You will not miss out on any deal because you didn't have the money. I'm so excited to be working with your Roundup family, Chris, and to have you on our private group coaching call for all your Roundup family that comes in on this package next Wednesday. I'm excited.
Nice. Cool. Okay, Roundup, I love you. I will see you tomorrow with Jessica Siegel. Don't forget, this is going to last until Sunday night. Jay's been so kind. I promise you, if you go to his website, it's $2,500. It's like 60% off. 60% off he's giving us. And I'm just honored, Jay, that you would even give us that type of value. I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. I appreciate you. I respect you. You're a mover and shaker. And I'm honored for you to have me on here with your Roundup family. Thank you so much, brother.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Roundup, talk to you guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.